Red light's on. Let's go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So today we wanted to talk about making and achieving goals.
Yes.
Yes.
Goals are very important.
Yes.
I think they're kind of underappreciated, like as far as I was not taught that in school or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not working towards something and you're just going through the motions, then I just don't think that you'd be that psyched about the world and life and where you're going.
No.
You just get up and go to work and come home and watch TV and go to bed.
Well, I know a lot of people, I think, that are trapped in that.
Yeah.
I know I have family that right off the top of my head, I can think of an aunt that's all she does is go to work, come home, go to work, go home, and does nothing. Like, don't have no hobbies, no anything. Sits and argues with her husband, and then they go in separate areas.
Maybe that's a goal and we didn't know it.
Maybe.
Working toward a goal.
And just driving each other crazy until one of them says, I give up!
Now, one of the things to keep in mind when you're trying to make a goal and trying to achieve it, and trying to do that by your daily activities, is that if you want to change something permanently, it can take you 66 days before that becomes a permanent part of yourself. And like you were talking about, is that with animals...
Nobody's ever...
Is that...
People haven't even been alive that long.
Yeah, for that long. Is that to go and change yourself is a huge thing, is we think we have free will.
Yeah.
Until we go and we try to change ourselves, and we realize that that's more than 2 months. It's going to take more than 2 months for us to actually get into the new pattern of doing things, into a new understanding of who we are.
Yeah, if you don't on purposely do it every single day, that new habit, it's so easy to fall back into what you do every day. Yeah. Go to work, come home, argue with your loved ones.
And one of the things that you want to make sure you're doing is, if you really want to accomplish goals, that you want to do not more than 3 at the same time. Is I know that oftentimes I'd get to the beginning of the year and I go to write my to-do list for all my goals I want to accomplish in the first few months of the next year, and I know it's a long list. I normally have somewhere around 20 different kinds of goals that I have.
20?
And yeah.
Good heavens, girl.
I have to say I do normally only remember about one of them after it gets about a month or so into the year. I can only remember one of my goals.
That's very ambitious of you. I don't have half that many.
Yeah. Well,
I think I did when I was younger. You
shouldn't have that many. You should be focusing on no more than 3 goals at a time.
Well, I think when I was younger, I had like 20 or 30. Because I thought, oh, this will be easy. Yeah, like last year, I think I had 1.5 goals.
That's
not many at all.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I definitely had a lot more than 3 at the beginning of the year. And then as the year went on, I realized I was going to have to change the plans.
Yeah, in a handbasket's where the year went. Yeah.
One of the things you want to do when you're making goals is you want to make sure that you have them in different categories. So you can't make all 3 goals to do with your health. All 3 goals to do with what it is you want to learn this year. You want to do them in different categories, because if you have everything focused in one category, you're really ignoring all the rest of your life. And that's not going to make you very happy.
No.
And some of the different categories that you might consider is making a goal in your health and fitness, making a goal in your intellectual life. What kinds of things is it you want to learn? Like a new language or whatever you want to learn.
I got Rosetta Stone in the other room.
Yeah, so actual goal.
Yeah, I have to play it now that I bought it. That's the tough part.
Some other kinds of categories is your spiritual life, your friends and family, money, or helping others. Mm-hmm. And you want to just kind of have maybe one goal in each of the categories in order to make it so that you kind of have a rounded kind of way that you're making your goals and pursuing your future, pursuing your future you, making you a different you, a better you that you like better. The new you. One of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're making a goal is that you want it to be a SMART goal, S-M-A-R-T. Is that S and the M stand for specific and measurable. Is you don't want to just say, I'm going to save money for a car. You want to have, how much money are you going to save for a car? What car is that specifically? make it specific and measurable so that you know when it is you've achieved that actual goal.
Yeah, break it down.
You want to make sure it's attainable and realistic, is that, maybe you do want to get a Ferrari, but maybe not this year, but maybe you do. Because if you make your goal specific or attainable and realistic, and you make it too attainable and realistic, how excited are you going to be about that goal? If you do figure you're going to just save that $300 to buy that old banger that's, just sitting in the driveway next door and won't even go.
Say old banger.
Old banger. What do you call those things?
I've never heard of old banger.
I don't know. Are you going to really be excited about that goal? Are you really going to be scrimping and saving to try and get that car that won't even go? Or do you really want to make sure that it's an out there kind of goal? Something that might be hard, but that you can get excited about. You also want to make sure that it's timely. Is that you could say, I'm going to save for a car someday, then you're not going to be able to really get toward getting that goal. You want to make sure it's timely.
That someday is I heard a cool little thing that someday is like almost not having a goal, because without a set day or time frame, they compared it to the ship with nobody steering, so it's just wandering at sea and never actually gonna hit the place. I mean, it may hit someplace.
It'll hit someplace sometime.
But sometime.
You don't know when.
Yeah, who knows? And who knows where, So that's what... I love that analogy, though.
Yeah. So one of the things you want to do, too, is you want to make sure that you've added your goals to your daily activities.
Put them down.
Are your daily activities actually getting you closer to your goal? Sometimes our daily activities are really getting us further away from our goals. And so you want to make sure that you check on that. Yeah.
Yes. I'm one who gets distracted. Mm-hmm. And I need to write more things down so that way I can stay focused on it. Or if not, I wander off over here, and then 3 days later, I'm like, I haven't worked on my goal at all.
One of the things you can do is, if you don't know what it is that you really wanted to make as your goal, if you didn't know what you wanted to make as your goal yet, you might just brainstorm. Do maybe a brainstorm out. What things are important to you? What things is it that you do want to pursue? And then after you've gotten a list of all of the different kinds of things it is that you feel like would make you a better, person where it is that you want to be, closer to who it is you want to be, then, pick out maybe 3 of those different ones to focus on. And instead of focusing on an end goal, one of the things you might want to do is focus on what your daily activities are going to be. So instead of saying...
That's where I fall short.
Yeah. Is instead of saying, well, I'm going to be saving that money for the car, I'm going to save, maybe even have a specific. I'm going to be saving $10,000. I'm going to have it by June the 15th, 2021. Going to have all this specific...
Yeah. So that way you know when it's going to happen and then you can back map it.
Yeah, and then you back map it.
You can say, okay, so what I need to do is per month I need to save X amount.
This much. Yeah. And so that you can put it into your weekly, daily goals so that you can say, okay, I'm saving this much, and you'd probably want to also say, well, I'm going to be cutting out this and this and this in order to make it so that I can save toward that goal.
So you can prioritize that, which means more to me that my goal, if it's a car, the new car, or these Xbox games or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I'll hold off on these and go for my main goal.
Or maybe a subscription for jewelry.
I gotta have my bling bling.
Yeah, having the bling. Or, saving up for that car. You can also tell who it is that's going to be successful by seeing who it is that's actually working toward their goals. Is you can see who it is that's going to be actually building muscle, getting a leaner body, because you can see who is it that's actually arriving at the gym.
Yeah, and you see that January there's so many, but
there's
come
so many.
March, April,
they've lost their consistency and they aren't working on it weekly. They aren't even working on it at all.
No.
Yeah, you can see that.
They're over at Pizza Pie.
Yes, they are. Working on something else against their goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the things that made me think about goals recently is I was thinking about I did things differently. This last time that I wanted to lose weight, I did things differently. And I was thinking about what kinds of things is it I did differently so that I could be successful, because I've been feeling really good about how successful I've been. And some of the things I did is I did make a big goal. I made it an exciting goal. I decided I was going to get back down to the weight that I was before I had my babies, and that felt like a really big goal to me. And I had never, ever said I was going to do that ever before. I just said something like lose weight, I don't know, do something.
Get back into shape.
Get back into shape.
That's real nice in general.
I think I was afraid to make a specific goal, afraid to make it a big goal. But I did make it a big goal this time, and I got excited about it.
It was more motivating.
It was more motivating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things I did is I put it into my daily activities is I plan out the meals that I'm going to be making each week. I plan out the meals I'm going to be making each day, making sure that I've got food set aside that we can use to make into something that's a healthy meal so that we don't have to have food that's bad for us and gonna go against our goals, work against our goals. And I kept track of my progress, which I love, and I'm going to have to really incorporate into some other kinds of goals because it's really, really exciting to see each step that I'm taking toward my goal.
Yeah, that recording the progress allows you to also go back and evaluate.
Yeah, you can
Maybe
say,
I need to change something because I'm not exactly on track.
Yeah, you can say, okay, so it looks like I was doing something here. Yeah, like you said, you can say, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't getting closer to my goal that week.
Yeah, what happened here?
What happened?
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened?
I went to Pizza Pie.
And I did decide that I was only going to focus on 3 goals. I have my 3 goals listed on a piece of paper on the back of the door in my bedroom. And so every time I get up, I go out into the world and start my day, is I can see my goals. I can also see my progress because I've got my progress chart listed on the back of the door. And some of what I did is I also did my why. Is I said, I did my absolute why. Is, well, why is it that I want to lose weight? Well, because I want to be healthier. Well, why do I want to be healthier? So that I can live a longer life. Well, why do I want to do that? I want to live longer life and feel good later in life. I want to be able to be around for my children, my grandchildren. I want to still be strong and healthy at that time. And I just did but why is that? And well, because I have things that I want to accomplish later in my life, and I want to be able to do those and be healthy and strong to be able to do those things. And well, but why is that? And just on and on until you can get to something you can get really excited about.
Yeah. And you also attach a lot of emotion that way.
Yeah.
And once it's emotionally backed.
You get a lot of emotion about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever done that? Done the absolute why is that? But why is that?
Recently, yes. I hadn't before. I don't remember where I heard doing that, and then so recently I have been. And you do totally feel different about the goal at that, because at first it's, oh, this is a good goal, and da da da.
Goal.
And you know, every time you look at it on paper, oh, it's still good, but you don't remember it as well until you add all those emotional attachments. And once you make it big, and it's not just about you, but you're encompassing your life instead of just this one, oh, I'd like to do, almost like a little wish, it becomes now more of a, you know, a purpose driven. And so it's really helped me a lot, but it's just recent that I've tried it. And I see a huge difference. Yeah, and I do love that's how I've got them listed. This is my goal, and this is why I want it, and this is why I want that, and this is why I want that, and that's what I've got listed that I get to look at each day when I start my day, and I've felt a really big difference for that. That helped you a lot. See, I haven't set it up where I look at it every day on a like walking out before I go to work. I keep a little notebook in my pocket a lot of times, and I'll open it up throughout the day, and it's all written out. And so I'll, if I have spare time, I'll just grab it, open it, and then read it. And I've only done this recently too, but it helps keep me kind of focused on some of the ideas. But I like yours. If it'd be different for you than me. A lot of times when I get up in the morning, if I look at the door, it's dark, so I'm not going to see it that well. True, yeah. But when I get up, the sun's up. Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, it's coming up when I get up. Kind of. So, sort of. Maybe you could let us know, are there some goals that you've made that maybe you made too small that maybe would be better, more exciting, that you could get more excited about if you made them a bigger goal? Are there some different kinds of things that you feel like maybe you could have incorporated into your daily activities? Maybe to make it so that
instead of it being a wish, that it was something you were working on each day.
Do you even make goals at all?
Do you even make goals? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that there are some people that say that New Year's resolutions are just evil. that because you know that you're not going to accomplish them, that you can't resolute. So they avoid them.
Isn't that the idea now? I mean, really, when people do it, it's the running joke during the time. Well, I'm going to make these just to break them in a month or so.
Yeah.
But really, that doesn't have to be that way. I mean, take them serious, and you can change your life. You can change your physical appearance if you want, or whatever you want to do. If you truly, I think these are really helpful. Being accountable, measure it, having things measurable, so you can go back and check and see, where did I get off course?
Yeah.
Staying on course.
Which would be something, is if you were saving up for a car, you could say, okay, I got this much money saved so far. And then you could look back and say, okay, what happened? Oh, that was when I spent all that money on...
Yeah, or, it could be anything. You can do that. Money is easier in a way, that way. Because, if you wanted to save for a big family vacation, well, how much is it going to cost? When are you going to do it? Now we backtrack from there.
Yeah.
Because then we know how much we need to save aside per month to get that goal. But the car's same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you could do that really with anything. If you can break it down to exactly what I need to do. Like if you have a weight loss goal. Let's say I want to lose X amount of pounds in so long, you can then backtrack it.
Yeah. And you can say, okay, so as long as I'm losing this much each week, I'm still getting closer to my goal.
Exactly.
In the amount of time that I wanted to do.
And I think that breaking it down is something that I hadn't done before, but I think that really helps. Because then you have these little goals. This is what I need to hit per week, per month, and am I off? Am I off from those targets? And if so, I need to adjust.
And what kinds of goals is it what kinds of things have you found that help you to work toward a goal? Are there different kinds of things that you found that we haven't mentioned? Maybe something that maybe we could incorporate into our goal setting.
Help us out,
because
we really want to know this whole goal thing we've not mastered, obviously.
Yeah, there's some things that we've been accomplishing, but there are other ones that it's harder to focus. I don't know if there's maybe some suggestions you have on how it is that maybe you accomplish goals.
Yeah. Sounds good. Else? That's about it. Okay. That's all I got. I'm out of coffee too.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and please let us know in the comments any kind of suggestions you have.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.